Hello, everybody. Welcome along to your post-match reaction here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast. My name is Martin. I'm your host, and I am joined today by Ian and Alex. And I want to start off with an apology to everybody. I'm sorry. I thought that by making the show 7 o'clock tonight, I would be able to start by saying that the charlatan has been sacked. Unfortunately, there has been no announcement from the football club. My understanding is that he will be sacked. I hope that's true. I sincerely hope that's true, because if that man is not gone today and he is still in place at this football club for any other length of time, he has another training session with these players, he manages another game at this football club, the only direction we're going is down. He is quite simply the worst Rangers manager of my lifetime, the worst Rangers manager of at least the last 40, 50 years. He's a charlatan of a football manager. He's no good. He's no use. Fair play to David and Stevie in today's post-match presser. They got it absolutely spot on. That man has to leave this football club and leave it right now. He's no use. He's terrible. He's crap. Any adjective you want to come up with, if they're even adjectives. I was no good at English in school. But that man is a stain on our football club, and he has to go now. Right now, leave our football club. You absolute wanker. Get out of our football club. Ian, how are you?
Oh, normally I'd come on and say, yeah, I'm all right. It's good. No, mate, not today. I am raging, seething, angry. Call it what you want. You could come in and go, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. None of that. Purely angry. As soon as that first goal went in, you knew what was coming. You could have switched off at that point and just come into this and gone, yeah, I knew we were going to get beat, so I didn't bother watching the rest of the game. I agree with you. He's got to go. He's got to go now, tonight, half an hour ago, half time, whatever. He just needs to be gone. And if he's not gone, I think you might see empty Ibrox. Not half empty, not a partially bit empty, but empty Ibrox moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, are you able to join us yet?
Aye, mate, I'm just done in. I'm just honest, I'm just done in. Obviously, wasn't the most optimistic on the build-up show. And then doing that watch along was just unbelievable. How he can sit there and he was just so clueless, hands in the pockets, clueless, didn't know what to do with tactics, just got it so wrong. But his appointment was so wrong, never mind his tactics. Should never been allowed to come into this club, and just done. I'm just done, mate. I'm so done of watching Russell Martin's football that there's no tactics, there's no fight, there's no energy. All of this that he tells us is just, it's just shambolic. It's all that we get fed lies every time, every single press conference, pre-match, post-match, whatever that Russell Martin does is just utter lies. He tells us that it's going to be something different. He tells us that these players are going to show what they've got. Well, if that's what they're showing, what they've got absolutely nothing. They've got nothing to show, and they've got no fight for their manager whatsoever. They're letting every single one of those fans down. Ibrox was a shell of a place come full time, and that's the way it should be going forward. Until he's still in this football club, it should just be a shell. No fans should be there at all. The only person that'll be there is Wolf Marshall, because he goes everywhere.
Yeah. And there is no way he can keep his job. Absolutely no way he can keep his job after this. If he does keep his job, the board don't care. And if he does keep his job, Thelwell should be sacked as well. Because Thelwell's getting very, very close to that line now with me of, if you let this continue, you need to go as well. Because you're no use to this football club. If any of the board watching that today and watching the last 5 games in the league and some of the European performances think that this is going any other way than down, then they're not football men and they shouldn't be at the football club. It's an absolute joke. Now I'm going to play this, and I'm hoping, beyond all hope, that this is the final time we hear from this man. His post-match presser, it's the Sky Sports interview. I didn't see any point in playing the Rangers TV one, but I hope, beyond all hope, that this is the last time that we have to hear from this man.
So how would you sum up how you're feeling after that?
Frustrated, disappointed. We forced the game too much early on and give up a couple of chances because of that, just out of anxiety, and we can't quite shed that at the moment here with the atmosphere, and is tough for the players at the moment. I think we're on the receiving end of 3 poor decisions. I think it's handball for their goal, Shankland. I don't think there's enough of a foul on the goal. I don't think there's any foul on the goalkeeper actually for our goal. And then Dio's adamant, and he's a really honest boy that he hasn't made contact.
I don't think there's any audio, Martin. Can't hear nothing.
Is what it is. We went 1-0 down. We sorted ourselves out. I thought the second half we started so well. For 20 minutes, we should score. We should score 2 or 3 actually. Again, that tension, even in front of the goal and in big moments. We don't make the most of that period. Then we're chasing the game. We give away a penalty, and then it's done. And then it's a really difficult afternoon to enjoy.
You mentioned the atmosphere. Not sure I've ever heard it quite as toxic as that, and a lot of it was directed towards you. How do you survive in that environment? How do you turn this round from here?
Keep working as hard as we ever have done until we're told not to. It's really that simple. To keep making it really clear to the players what we're after. I think as a group of players and staff, we're just not happy with the level of performance we put in, and so much of that is down to managing the emotion, expectation of this place, and we haven't quite managed that yet.
What are the signs that it can turn though? Because it's Rangers' worst league start in 47 years. I think the fans feel that. What can you say to them to convince them that it can get better?
It's just work. We have some really talented players in the building now. So the players we see in training to matches very, very different at the moment. So the gap between that is too big. So it's up to us to find a way to simplify that and to make sure we try and get the same energy, intensity, running that we do on the training pitch. So that's been probably the biggest source of frustration at the moment. But it just takes work, takes trust with the players. They're trying so hard, so I love them for that. And the rest we have to just keep working on.
That level of criticism, that level of toxicity can't be easy. Would you ever consider walking away from that?
No, I don't think I've ever walked away from anything in my life. So I knew coming here wouldn't be easy. The majority didn't want me here in the first place, which is fine. So then you have to try and change that around with results. And at the minute, all they see is the 90 minutes at the end of the week. So I understand the frustration. I'm as frustrated as anyone at the moment. But we'll be here and we'll work until I'm told not to. It really is that simple. So you have to fight in this industry to survive. You have to fight to get here in the first place. And now we'll keep fighting until we're told not to.
Is there a concern that it becomes a vicious cycle? Because you mentioned the players that are struggling to perform in that environment, but it doesn't look like that environment's going to go anywhere. So how do you break that?
By trying to make young men aware of what it actually means to them, that it's not personal, that it's on me, it's not on them. So hopefully we can find a way to take the shackles off a little bit of the group. And this is as bad as it will ever be. So we have to make sure of that.
That's the second time he said this is as bad as it'll ever be. Now, the audio was quite low on that, but that was Sky Sports on Twitter. There's nothing I can do. I tried to turn up the volume there, but that's as high as it went. All that matters, Ian, is the fucking 90 minutes on the park. I don't care what they do in training. I don't care how good they look in training. They look absolutely shite on that football pitch. And you're on mute.
No, my audio was up. It was just Sky Sports. You can say that, but again, that's throwing the players under the bus, isn't it? Well, they look good in training, so I don't think there's anything wrong with what I'm doing. It's them when they come out to play. It's not me. It's them. I mean, there's one point in his presser that he blamed the fans today for making the players play like they do because it's a toxic environment. So it's not him. It's always everybody else. The players play on the pitch because you're telling them to play in a certain way. You're the coach, supposedly. You're telling them to play in a certain way. They are doing what you are asking them to do. I mean, you can't tell me that the player that scored 4 goals, again, granted it was Moldova. You can't tell me that Cornelius played well against Canada. I mean, Raskin didn't play. But other players that have been out playing international football in the week who look good, even Suter looking decent playing for Scotland, to come back to Rangers and then all of a sudden they're crap players again. That's him. That's not them. That's him. We can blame the players all we want for not doing anything on the pitch, but the buck stops with him. It's his coaching. We've all said that the players look good until they actually get under his coaching, and then he's coming out and saying that again. I agree with you. It's what happens on the pitch for 90 minutes, but he's got to recognise that what he's doing doesn't work, and he's not, and his ego and his horrible little smile and his flicking of his little curtain haircut that went out of fashion in the 90s, it just needs to stop. He needs to, we'll lose my plot and we'll get cancelled, so I'll stop. And you can bring Alex in at any point you want.
Yeah, it's never his fault, Alex. Ian's 100% spot on. It's never his fault. I mean, we're winning the league. If you look at training, right, we're the best team in the league at training. That's 5 games, Alex. 5 games, 4 draws, 1 defeat. And he said after a European game, it'll never be as bad as this. He's now saying after Hearts a day, it'll never be as bad as this. The only way it's never going to be as bad as this is if he goes.
I don't know what to say, mate. Honestly, I think when he's telling us that it's never going to be as bad as this, does he mean next season? That it's never going to be as bad as this season? Is he just not finishing his sentences because he can't think what to say? Because honestly, when you look at it, it's poor. Like, he's not won a game this season, and yet he says it's not going to get as bad as this. You've not won a game. We've not scored a goal from open play. We didn't register a single shot against Celtic. We literally looked so poor today. The only chances we had was the cross-turn shot from Asgard, which was a very good shot that the keeper managed to save. But we didn't even look like we're doing nothing. We're playing Miovski's a striker and don't get him the ball once. He's playing Gassam out on the right, who doesn't look comfortable. As soon as he's put on the left, he contributes more. Like, his tactics are just all over the place. Why is he sacrificing Gassam, who's looking a lot better on the left, gets involved in the game, plays a lot better, tries to link up play, runs up and down on the right because he wants to play Mikey Moore? Mikey Moore couldn't kick a ball today, and yet he's still getting chances. He's the one making that decisions. Rothell's now injured. Are we going to get somebody from the academy so he doesn't have to play Raskin and go back on that as well? The amount of players that are getting thrown under the bus time and time again because he doesn't want to say, yep, I've got it wrong, I need to start again. He doesn't want to take any responsibility for his actions. He's the one that sets us up. He's the one that tells everybody what to do, how to play. But yet, he's one of the least animated managers I've seen on that touchline. He doesn't move. The only time he moves is when he goes to take a seat. He gets back up, puts his hands in his pockets, has a look about, and then goes and sits back down. How are any players supposed to be motivated when that's the way you're talking? None of the players want to look at what you're doing. None of the players want to listen to you. They're trying to play on their own, and I completely agree with what you said, Ian. These players looked well on international duty, but then can't play at Ibrox because it's the way they're being coached. They're quite clearly being coached in a certain way that they don't want to play. They don't want to play that way. I mean, Suter looked absolutely hoaching today. The amount of times that we were giving away silly fouls and just looked like we couldn't play was an absolute joke. We brought in all these players and none of them seemed to gel. They need time to gel. What's that all about? Why did they all need to gel? You play in the same park. You train.
By the way, as he was saying that, Alex, during his presser, Edgar's went straight back to me. So did Hearts.
Exactly. Hearts have got these players as well that are needing to gel, needing to play together. Do you know how you gel? You train 6 days a week together, and then you play for 90 minutes the way you've trained. None of these players look like they actually care. And that's the worst of it. And see the comments in the watch along, and see the comments in this saying that Shanklin wasn't good enough. Shanklin tore us apart today. Absolutely tore us apart, and yet he wasn't good enough to come to Rangers. He scored for the penalty spot. Yes, I get that. But his first goal was a great goal. Great move to get in, and he puts that in the back of the net.
Alex, what would Shanklin do in this Rangers team?
Well, nothing, because he wouldn't get the service. That's what I mean. None of our players get the service. None of them. And it's just an absolute joke. But Russell Martin will never take any sort of slack that it's his tactics that don't work. You'll find another player next week to throw under the bus. Another one will be thrown under the bus, and it's their fault. It's Jack Butland's fault for not saving the ball, for not keeping it out of the net. It's Miovski's fault for not scoring the goals. It's Barron's fault for taking over somebody else's possession. The fact that it's never his fault, never his tactics, never his background staff. Thelwell needs to have a word with himself and with the manager and say, it's just not good enough. How can we be sitting here, 4 draws, 1 defeat, and going, it'll get better? What, we get 5th? We get 6th? We just get in the top half of the table? Is that when it gets better? Because sitting 10th in the league after 5 games is just not acceptable by any stretch of the imagination. We've turned into a shambolic club, and with the laughing stock of this league right now, doesn't matter if you're looking at Aberdeen that are below us going, oh, well, they're below. We should not be sitting 10th by any stretch of the imagination and try to claw back up this table. Come next week, we'll be knocked out the cup by Hibs, and then we've got a European trip to Genk. Where are we getting points? Where are we getting wins? Where is this team going to get the chance to gel with a competitive game? It's not happening. He needs to go. Simple as.
Yeah. We don't beat Hibs with Martin as a manager. Ian, we don't beat Genk. We probably don't even beat Livingston away from home.
No, because better managers than this fool have gone up against David Martindale's Livingston and come away with a defeat or a draw. So I would expect to go to Livingston and lose. So I don't expect to beat Hibs at all. Possibly if we do sack him, we get a new manager bounce. That's the one thing he's not had coming in. He didn't get a bounce at all.
No.
So yeah, he's got nothing. He didn't have anything at Southampton. He didn't have anything at Swansea. He didn't have anything at Milton Keynes. I think the only thing he's walked away with out of all those 3 clubs is one time they passed the ball 450 times in 90 minutes or something. Or in one passing move to get a goal and got a record amount of passes. Whoop-de-doo. I worked it out. We've had 17 shots in the 5 domestic league games since the start of the season. That's 3.4 a game. One of those games we didn't even have a shot on target. It's not going to change under him. It's just not going to change. And he can come out with all the crap he wants and blame this one and blame that one. He'll probably suspend Raskin for another 2 weeks now because we lost because he wasn't playing today. I mean, there's a lot of comments going through that the owners don't care because they don't understand the game up here. But they understand money. And what they want is Rangers in the Champions League making money. If this keeps going, we will not get top 6, let alone European places to make money. So the only way that changes for them is to take the problem away, and the problem is Russell Martin. If they want return on their investment, which is what we are to them, they need to act for the club. Yes, come out and just say, look, we got this horribly, horribly wrong. We were sold a vision, and it quickly became apparent that the vision that he sold isn't what we're getting. He's gone. We'll make sure that when we bring someone in, it is the right man for the job. And I know Alex said it in the watch along, kind of a little bit off the cuff sort of deal. But I would, if I've got it and I've got the money there, I'm breaking the bank and I'm getting Nuno up here.
Yep.
If we could get him up, then absolutely, yeah. But there's
people out of context.
There's people saying, "Oh, but it's going to cost 5-6 million to get rid of Martin. It's going to cost more if we keep him. It's going to cost so much more money if we keep him. We are a cash-rich club now. Sack him.
It's already cost us 30 million.
Yeah, exactly. We're a cash-rich club now. Sack him. There is no excuse. And I'm constantly refreshing socials, and he's still not been sacked. I still don't understand why. But Ollie Muirs has become a member on YouTube. Thank you very much, Ollie, for the support, my friend. And I hope you enjoy all the bonus content. Andrew Duncan as well has put a super sticker in there, as he always does. Thank you very much, Andrew, for the continued support. Kevin Wilson for super chat. Alex, everything you said is correct, which is not often.
That's a first.
That's a first for Alex. That is very much a first for Alex. But Kevin, mate, thank you very much for that. Right, now this as well, and for Kevin, Alex, another super chat. Thank you very much, Kevin. Martin, I agree. Martin needs to go, but the players are a disgrace too. You know what? Yeah, the players were crap today, Alex. But you know what? I'm nowhere near even blaming the players. For me, this is all on Russell Martin.
The players have to take some flack for it. I do agree that they have to take some flack. They're the ones that are playing the 90 minutes, and they're the ones that are putting in the performance. But it goes back to the way they're being coached. It goes back to the way they're being told to play. A lot of people mentioned it to watch along. I mentioned it, and you could see it. The one player that was so disappointed to come off was Conor Barron. He was having a good game, and he took off. He looked frustrated. He was angry. He walked right past Russell, and he just looked like he didn't want to be took off. That's the kind of attitude you want. No, you want to be annoyed being took off because you know you can change a game. But Russell Martin has to 100% take all the credit for this, all the backlash, everything. He even has the cheek to say that he's trying to prove the fans wrong that didn't want him here in the first place. By what? Getting us relegated? Like, that's what you're going to do. Like, you're not going to get us up this table. We're not going to get even Europe next season at this rate. So what you doing to prove us wrong, that we thought that you wouldn't finish first or second? No,
but we're really good in training, Alex. We're so good in training.
So we'd win the training trophy. That's what we're going to win this season, is the training trophy or the passing trophy, possession trophy, whatever you want, because that's all we've got. The enthusiasm trophy, because we're going to get a participation medal at this point. That's all Russell Martin's going to get, because we're just so poor under him right now that no manager should be surviving this. And for whatever Russell Martin's got on this owners, that he managed to, 1, get the job, and 2, stay in the job, we need to know what it is, because he's obviously got some dirt on him that he's staying in a job. He's completely lost every one of the fans. I said to you in the build-up that 99.9% should be proved wrong, that he'll turn this around. but 100% of the fan base is now calling for Russell Martin to get out. He needs to leave this club. He's obviously got a bit of ego about him that he wants to prove us wrong. Well, nobody wants you to prove us wrong. Just leave now. It's just leave. He needs to be sacked. He's obviously not going to be the bigger man and walk away. So just sack him right now. Just sack him today.
7 interviews, still well done with him. 7 interviews, fair well done with that man. And again, and I'll repeat myself. If he's not gone, then Farewell goes. If Farewell's still sticking his neck out for him, Farewell can get. I've already used up all my swear words, so Farewell can get TF. I know. Kevin, mate, thank you so much for the super chat. And we'll bring in Gemini JC for a super chat as well. Thank you very much, Gemini. Russell Martin is clueless, no idea how to play, Ian. They say no player is bigger than Rangers. Well, no ego is bigger than Rangers either. And his ego is probably bigger than planet Earth.
Well, his ego is definitely cashing checks that his brain can't cash at this point, I tell you. I mean, I've heard the press conference, I listened to it, and how I haven't put my TV in listening to that, I don't know, because the ego was spewing out of it. We're going on that ego. That comment of going, after they'd said, the fans now want you gone, and his first response to come out and go, well, most of them didn't want me here in the first place. It's ego.
And they were all proved right. And every single one of them was proved right because you're an absolute donkey.
And a lot of us didn't want him here, but when he got the job, went, right, well, I don't want you here, but you've got time, prove me wrong. Has he done it?
Mm-hmm.
No. I jokingly said on another pod that maybe he's doing it on purpose because of the way he was sort of subjected by the fans when he hears a player. But the more and more this goes on, the more and more I believe that to be true. I'll show them. This club over. The ego of the man. Do you know what? I've never actually hated a Rangers manager until now. I think I've been really disappointed with them. Like I said in the watch along as well to Alex, and he read it out. We've gone through since we come back up. We've had Pedro, we've had Murty, we've had Beale. If we want to go further, we've had Le Guin, even Warburton when it's coming towards the end. None of them have been as bad as this man. Not one of them. And this is the worst start to a season since 1978. That's what that Sky interview told you. 1978, longer than I've been on the planet.
So not a 22% win rate. He's got 22 as a Rangers manager. 22 win rate. How is that acceptable? Sorry to cut you off, Ian, but how is that?
No, totally agree.
A 22% win rate, and we're sitting here going, get him sacked, and the board's going, maybe give him a bit more time. How is that acceptable for any manager? Michael Beale wasn't that bad. There was Fleet Clement, and they got sacked. And yet we're still sitting here going, well, Russell Martin might turn it round.
No, absolutely.
Well, Gemini, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the support. And as multiple man saying, 0% win rate in the league after 5 games. 0% win rate in the league. That is how utterly embarrassing and shambolic we are right now. An average Celtic team are going to walk the league this year. Because Hearts will fall off. Of course they will, like Aberdeen done last season. And by the way, if Aberdeen and Dundee weren't so outrageously crap, we'd be bottom of the league. We would be bottom of the league under this manager. If that doesn't scream get him sacked, I don't know what will. James Cameron, channel member, big supporter of the channel. Thank you very much, James. Of a super chat. Thirlwell and Stewart should be gone too. 2 hours after the game, Russell Martin is still here. Kavanagh and Marath, you need to act. Failure to do so will be seen as you don't care for the support. Alex, do you know what? Thirlwell and Stewart are quite high up on my list now of people who I'm really starting to dislike. And like I say, if Russell Martin's not sacked and not sacked soon, then they can go as well.
100%. They're the ones that, Thirlwell, as you said, 7 interviews he had with Russell Martin and decided, yep, you're the right man for the job. So I completely agree. If they've not got the balls to sack him tonight, then they can walk out the door with him as well on Monday morning, because literally they need to be gone. You can't be backing a man who has absolutely run the support into the ground with the fact that before even 80 minutes, I think it was before 70 minutes, people were leaving. They were 1-0 down and people were leaving. There's no way a manager should be allowed to survive after that. The fact that for the fans that were still in the ground, to hear the boos at full time, there wasn't even that many, and it was still, you could hear it all over Ibrox. And the fact that every one of the fans, Hearts and Rangers, were singing, "You're getting sacked in the morning," just shows how much we want him gone. When a rival team is singing it and we join in, Thelwell and Stewart should be looking at that. Thelwell was watching the game. He's in the stand watching. And yeah, he should be just walking down and handing him his P45. See you later on, Martin. You're done. Off you pop. Back down south you go. And yet he's let him go home.
Thelwell said it in his interview that Martin's one of the best he's ever worked with, right? Which right away is a red flag for me. Do you know what? Martin might be a great coach, but he's a dreadful, dreadful manager, right? But Thelwell also said in that interview, Ian, that things have to improve quickly because they can't keep going the way they're going. Well, they're getting worse. So he's got no excuse now not to sack him.
So he's one of the best coaches he's ever worked with. And did he not work with Ancelotti at Everton?
Yeah.
You're telling me that he's up there with him? I don't think he is. I don't even think he could tie a shoelace, let alone touch a shoelace of Ancelotti. So to say he's one of the best he's ever worked with is just sound bites and rubbish from a man who, quite honestly, may well be hugely out of his depth. Being that in the role at Everton is completely different to being in the role up here. Everton, you can get away with losing games as long as you survive in the Premier League. Up here, you don't get away with dropping points because you drop too many points too quick. The league's done. And that's been proven in the first 5 games of the season. We could change that around if we get someone in. It's not
the league's still done.
Unsurmountable gap.
The league's still done.
It's still done, but you're going to put a fight into it. But they've got to sack him. I mean, I don't know if any of the board were at the Leeds game today. Maybe that might be the delay. They might be coming up from Leeds. So you'll just have to wait and see on that one.
No. There's this new invention, Ian, right? It's called a mobile phone, right? What happens is Maraf phones Thelwell, right, from Yorkshire and goes, sack him. Thelwell goes down the stair into the changing room, takes Martin out the changing room and says, go and get your stuff and fuck off. And then 10 minutes later, Rangers put out a tweet to go, don't worry, everybody, you're okay. The charlatan's gone. And then we're sitting here and we're all happy and we're going, right, that idiot's away for your football club. Let's talk about what's next.
No, and then he phones him back and says, by the way, you're sacked too. Off you go.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Take Purdy and Stewart with you.
Yeah.
And we'll start again. Yeah. I mean, like I said, Sir David of Weir is available. Get in before Chelsea do.
Oh, you know, I just... All I care about is that man getting sacked. That's all I care about. Another super chat, Ian, from Kevin Wilson, again, channel member. Thank you very much, Kevin. Big supporter of the channel as well. Martin needs to go, but the things I heard saying about Martin was a disgrace, shocking. All I heard was you're getting sacked in the morning, Ian. Personal stuff, right? I mean, all right, I might have called him a wanker, right? So I apologise. It's not an actual personal attack on Russell Martin himself, right? As a manager, he's a wanker as a manager, right? But I've not heard anything that I would consider disgraceful or shocking.
The general Martin get to, that's standard. Calling someone a wanker, that's from you, as far as I'm aware, that's a term of endearment because you call me that all the time. Mm-hmm. I can't say I've heard anything been said, unless it's on social media stuff, and we all know that social media is just a place for keyboard warriors to hide and shout stuff at people that they wouldn't ordinarily say, but while they're hiding behind the screen, they're quite happy to do it. But you're going to get it because at the end of the day, every single one of us love the club that we support, and we have done since the day we were given a fair shout or were made to sit for a game, as my son is. He was all over Rangers everything. I can't get him to watch the games now. He doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. So that's the effect that this man's having on the club. So you're going to get people shouting out abuse and all the rest of it. Yes, it's going to be shocking. Some of it will cross the line, but that's what emotions at the time will do to people. Tomorrow morning, they might calm down a little bit, still call him a wanker, but not think like what I said yesterday was a bit off. But you're going to get it. It's going to happen.
Yeah. And the crowd are right to be angry, by the way. 100% right to be angry. I'm not saying, boo me, right? But since starting this podcast, and especially since going full time, I've gave up a lot of opportunities to be able to go to Ibrox and watch Rangers, which is something that I really want to do. But this podcast has to run. This podcast has to go. So I've had to give up a lot of opportunities to go and watch Rangers. But see, right now, I don't want to go to Ibrox. I don't want to go to Ibrox and watch that mince that he's serving up week in, week out. Who genuinely wants to go and watch that crap? And over the years, I've tried to make it so and bring enough people in that I can get to as many games as I possibly can. I can't get to nearly as many games as I want to. So, I mean, I would have a choice. If I want to go and watch Rangers more, I shut the podcast down and I go and watch Rangers. Like, not a chance is that happening now. Not a chance. Which, by the way, is something that I've thought about in the past. But Kevin, mate, thank you very, very much for the super chat. Let me just see. I have to put this up from Michael Sharon. Was just thinking that, Alex. Well said, mate. Spot on. Put this up. There we go. So I put it up. Thank you very much. We also have 2 new members. One is Kevin Shovelin. I don't know if I've said that surname correctly or if it is indeed a surname. But Kevin, mate, thank you so much for becoming a member. And I hope you enjoyed the extra content. And Alex Lothar. Thank you very much, Alex, as well, for your support, my friend. And like I said, always say when a new member joins, I hope that you enjoy the extra content. Andrew Duncan as well with another super sticker. Thank you very much, Andrew. If you're watching on YouTube, you will be able to see that super sticker now. But Andrew, my friend, thank you very, very much. Charles Dalrymple, the poshest sounding man in the history of people. Raskin depreciation in Europe costs more. There is no excuse. There is no financial excuse, Alex, to keep this charlatan.
There's not. There's absolutely no financial excuse to keep him at all. The club, as you said, have got money. They've quite clearly got the money there. They spent, what, 30 million in transfers, get him sacked. But the amount we're going to lose not playing Nico Raskin and not getting even out of the group stage, because let's be honest, we're not even going to get out of the group stage in Europe at this rate. So not getting out of either of those two, we're just going to lose money. Hand over foot compared to what we'll get if we don't sack Russell Martin. He has to go.
Hand over fist. I'll just say that before you get destroyed, right? Mate, right?
But still, he needs to go, mate. He does. He just needs to go. Raskin obviously just looked lost sitting in the stands watching that game. I know a lot of people said he wouldn't have had an impact. He might not change the result today, but he more than deserves to be playing. 100% more than deserves to be playing, because there is the way that boy plays his game, playing the number 6. He's just world class, and yet we're still going, nope, Russell's the manager, and he gets the final say. Well, let's hope that was his final say, and in the morning, as other crowd sounds, he gets to, and off he goes. Not even in the morning tonight.
Let me just double check, everybody. No, he's still the manager. Unbelievable. It is absolutely, and we will talk about the game in a wee second, right? I'm going to get through some of the super chats that have been sent in as well, because on another day there's a few contentious incidents for us to actually discuss. To be brutally honest with you, but just the fact that even without the first goal going in, where it's clear that Shankland handles the ball right in the build up to it, it's clear. Without that goal, Hearts probably go on and score anyway. For me, the penalty's not a penalty. I don't think Diamandi's touched him. But at the same time, the way that we played in that game, bar a 15-minute spell, we didn't deserve anything out of it anyway, and it would have only just continued to paper over the cracks. But Fraser Smiley has also joined as a member on YouTube. Fraser, thank you very, very much. Enjoy all the extra content. And I was going to get you to guess what the currency NOK is, but I know Ian knows what it is, because Ian done the same as me and Googled it, what NOK is, because I wanted to try and sound exotic and interesting. Alex, what's NOK?
I'm not even going to lie, I did Google it as well. It's the Norwegian krone.
Did you Google it as well? Did you?
I Googled it. I was like, I'm going to get caught here. Straight on the Google.
Yeah, I Googled it as well. If we didn't have something to laugh at, it would be very, very depressing, wouldn't it? But channel member, Mr. Baseman, been a channel member for ages and ages, big supporter of the channel. I've never seen such an arrogant, clueless, ignorant person in charge of any club in my life. Beale would be our saviour, and that's saying something. Best pod in town, lads. Thank you for sharing my agony. Thank you very much, Mr. Baseman. And we're kind of repeating ourselves here, Ian. But I've never seen such an arrogant, clueless, ignorant person in charge of my club.
No, very true. I haven't. No, I mean, we all said it about Bill. He's a car salesman. Da 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 da. This guy's not even the car salesman. This is the guy that just sleazes about anywhere and everywhere. When it does say a lot when you say you'd rather have Bill at your club than Russell Martin. That tells you everything about him as a coach when he's with us. There's other people I would bring back long before I look at Michael Beale again, but. How many times can we go over the same thing? We don't want him here. We never wanted him here. We've been proven right that he shouldn't be here. Act now. Get him gone. If not now, I want to wake up tomorrow morning and find out he was sacked overnight.
Yeah. Mr. Baseman, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the support. In London, he's not even the receptionist who makes the coffee because he wouldn't know how to make the coffee. That's how clueless this man is. And 0044 Metal. I'd take Pedro. I think anybody would take Caixinha over Russell Martin. That's where we are.
At least we won games.
Yes, we absolutely did. That's where we are as a football club. Now, Alex, the first goal that Hearts score today, handball by Shankland. The goal should be disallowed. It isn't. But after that handball, I mean, the defending it's not even Sunday League.
When you actually watch the defending, that nobody knows who to pick up. Nobody knows what man to pick up. When they've got the ball down the left hand side, you just watch right hand side. Sorry, Suter and Tav don't know who to mark, and then when Shankland makes a run into the box, nobody follows him. It wasn't until he's actually behind all the defence they turn and look at him, and by that point, he's already put the ball in the back of the net. I don't know how many times we're going to watch this season that Suter and Giga can't play together because they both can't cover that side. It doesn't work. I thought we looked a bit more okay when Cornelius came on. Obviously, we then conceded a penalty at that point, but they just don't work on that side because the amount of times Suter was like almost falling over his feet when he's backtracking because he's trying to shield the ball and run backwards. Doesn't work. And Giga just looks so uncomfortable. I don't know what's happened to him from when he looked pretty okay to now he just looks so uncomfortable. He doesn't know what he's doing. And yet Tav just got caught out completely. The fact that they managed to get down the inside, got the ball across, and just put it in the back of the net, they just looked so much easier. I mean, Braga had the freedom of that right hand side. Anytime he went down it, Tav was just nowhere to be seen, or he just left him to it, and it didn't work. I mean, there was 4 of them at one point trying to cover the man, and we're nowhere near it, and yet we're going, oh, how do we concede there? Well, I'll tell you how we concede. We concede because nobody wants to close the ball down. And by the time he's already got that angle, there's only one thing that's going to happen, and he's going to score.
Oh, yep. And that's exactly what he did. We did have the ball in the net, Ian. It was ruled off for a foul on the goalkeeper. And I don't really think, if we're being honest, we can have many complaints, can we?
Well, goalkeepers are a protected species. I should know I am one, and I will make a meal of anything if anyone comes near me and even looks in my direction. I'll hit the floor like I've been poleaxed with the biggest, baddest shovel that you've ever seen. But it's a foul. Asgard takes a quick look to see where the keeper is and puts his elbow up. It's a foul. We can sit there and go, the ref, the VAR, they cost us. We cost ourselves by not putting in a performance to play. So I'm not bothered. Well, I am bothered that the goal was disallowed because there was actually no need to do it. Just jump. Mm-hmm. The keeper flapped at it because he knows he's going to get the foul. And you've denied Cornelius his debut goal. So, yeah, it's a foul.
I mean, their goalkeeper, Ian, was probably the one weak part of their team today, if I'm being honest. He never looked comfortable. And if Asgard just leaves him alone, he probably doesn't do anything with that cross anyway. He flapped. So should have just left him alone. But I think desperation's kicking in at that point. Asgard's going, if I can just knock him off his stride, and he's just gone a little bit too much. But just to go back on something Alex said about Tav, at one point or a few points of the day, Asgard's in Tav's position, and I can't see Tav. Where is he? Why is he not there? And I know we go in hard on the captain all the time, but where was he? Oh, he was hoaching today. He was terrible today, Tav, from start to finish. Absolutely dreadful. Their penalty, Alex. for me is never a penalty. From the angles that I've seen, unless I see another angle where Dio actually makes contact. But for me, it looks as though Dio puts his leg in, pulls it back a tiny wee bit, stops, and the Hearts player, I can't remember his name, just falls to the ground.
They actually showed the angle from behind the goal, which actually shows Dio pull his foot away before the contact's made, and then he falls to the ground. And that's the angle that they showed on VAR and still gave that as a penalty. How is it a pen? There was actually no contact there, and if it is, it's the most minimal contact that, if in it's simulation, it fully is. But as Ian said earlier on the show, the amount of times that when it came to decisions for them, they were checked instantly, and either they were given, so the goal was given, the handball wasn't a handball, the penalty was a penalty, it was given straight away, but ours took a day and an age to figure out, and it was, nope, that's a foul. So we were never going to get it, but the fact that they got the penalty without the referee even being said to the monitor showed that they wanted to just give it. They said it wasn't a clear and obvious error, but how quickly Stephen McLean pointed to that spot when he can't see it. If you actually look at where he's standing, he can't see the contact. He just guesses because the man goes over and there's three of our players around it, that's a penalty, and then it isn't sent to the monitor to actually review it. Just shows that it was going to be a penalty. Now, I'm not saying that penalty cost us the game. What cost us the game was Russell Martin's tactics and the way he had us play. That's what cost us that game. Hearts obviously wanted it more. That's another manager we can now tick off the list that has outmanaged Russell Martin, and just shows that he's got absolutely nothing to do. Derek McInnes wanted to prove a point today, and I said it during the show that Derek McInnes knew that all he had to do was come and turn up today, and even put a little bit of pressure on, and we would have crumbled. And that's exactly what we did, and they got their 2 goals. Although Butland got a good save on it, not one of our players was quick to react, and it was Lawrence Shanklin, and he tapped it in the back of the net.
And Russell Martin's still not been sacked yet, by the way, just to let everybody know. Super chat in from channel member Gaz, big gentle giant is our Gaz. Just back from the game, I'm scunnered, that's me, I'm done, no going back till he's gone, Ian. He's not going to be the only one.
No, I think you'll find there'll be a lot of people. If he's still there come the Hibs game, I think you're looking at 1980s levels of crowd for that League Cup game. If he's still there for the Hibs game, I've seen a few people saying don't buy the tickets for the European game. I think that time has come and gone anyway. I think anyone who's already bought has bought them already. But Gaz won't be alone. I mean, I'm looking at certain things that you've suggested for the pod moving forward, and all right, I can come up for that, and I'll go to a game when I'm up there if it ties in. Nah, not doing it. I'm not going to spend the amount of money it cost me to get from Norwich to Glasgow, stay overnight, tickets, food, drink, all that. I'm not doing it while he's there. Not a chance. Because I know what's going to happen. I'll come up, we'll get beaten, then I've got a 6.5 hour to 8 hour drive home, having that on my head all the way back. Not doing it. And I don't blame Gaz, and I don't blame anybody who doesn't want to go. If it's a season ticket side of things, it doesn't really have a huge effect on the club, and the fact that the ticket money's already in, but the stuff that you would buy when you're there, because I can't help myself. If I go in the shop, I will buy something. I will buy food when I'm there. I will buy drinks when I'm in the ground. So there's a knock-on effect of that. But yeah, he's not going to be the only one, and I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody who doesn't go. Why Russell Martin's still there? We're not winning games.
No. Gaz, thank you very much for the support, my friend. And Lockeye Review, long-term viewer, channel member, thank you. Now is a good time to make the change. There are managers in the market. Russell Martin can't manage men. He has not got a clue. The good time for a change, Alex, was just before the international break.
It was, but apparently we trained well over the international break, and apparently we trained well, the boys that were here, and we got a bit more cohesion in the squad, and they were starting to get a bit of connection together, and we were starting to see what we did, and these players showed that they could play. Well, that certainly didn't work, did it? But I feel that the more minutes tick by after this game that Russell Martin hasn't been sacked. I think he's not going to be sacked. It's starting to creep in. I don't think he will, because it's just going minute after minute that it's not coming through. And I think that, they don't want to look silly by sacking him this quickly, but the fan consensus from every media outlet, from every fan, podcast, whatever, anybody that's got a smart device has commented, get him gone. He's not got a clue. He doesn't know how to get football players working. He thought he'd have learned when he came here as a player, and that didn't really work out for him. Well, his managerial career has worked out even less. And if there's one person that shouldn't be welcomed back into Ibrox, it's Russell Martin.
I totally agree. Lockeye, thank you very much for the super chat. I'm going to read out a wee stat here that has just appeared in our WhatsApp group from Brian. And this is how bad things really are, folks. Right? So, Rangers managers who served in post for less than 1 year. This is the win rate. So, Michael Beale, 307 days with a 72% win rate. Right? Paul Le Guen, 240 days, a 51% win rate. Pedro Caixinha, 227 days with a 53% win rate. Russell Martin, 100 days, 25% win rate. 25. So he's got less than half the win rate that Paul Le Guen had. That's where we're at with our current manager, and he's still in a job. You know, and look, JM saying, let's be honest, was anyone actually expecting us to win today? No, I didn't. My prediction was a Hearts win, but I didn't expect it. I mean, I probably should have, but I didn't expect it to be worse, a lot worse than the Celtic game. And by the way, no one of Celtic fans are going after nut that they only managed a nut in each strawberry as at Ibrox. I'd be going after my nut as well, if that was the case, because that is how utterly dreadful we are. And by the way, one of those wins was a scrape against Alloa. That's what one of those wins are. But don't worry, we're still in the cups. We're still in the cups, folks. And Scottish Gamer, I believe, has upgraded his membership. So, Scottish Gamer, thank you so much for the support and for upgrading your membership. And Big Dave, channel member as well. They just backed him publicly and spent 30 million on players for his system. Can't see the board sacking until all trophies are gone. Be new year, P45, in my opinion. Ian, it can't be. It just can't be.
If they wait till the new year to sack him, then we'll be in a relegation fight and we'll be lucky to survive it. And the table points at that right now. We are 10th. 10th after 5 games. Now, I said earlier on, it's the worst run since 1978. In the time that I've supported Rangers, I've never known us to be 10th in the table after 5 games. The worst it's ever been, maybe 4th. And that was during the Pedro times and all the rest of it. You can't survive as a Rangers manager until Christmas when you're 10th in the league in the second week of September. It just doesn't work. John Gregg was a legend and he had an awful time as a Rangers manager. They got shot of him as quickly as they could. You just can't go like this. So back at him. And I know there's a lot of people saying we can't be a club that keeps sacking managers. That was different. You look at it, those win rates now, you're thinking, why did we sack Beale? And Gio and all that lot. Why did we get rid of them? That was the fans that want them. I've got someone in the chat there saying he's been sacked.
I'm not seeing it. I
haven't seen it yet. Yeah, you can't wait till Christmas. Yes, we can't keep going through sacking managers all the time, but this one is a justified sacking of a manager. If you want an empty stadium, keep going until Christmas, because then you can sack everybody because there'll be nobody there to watch. So, yeah, this one's different. You've got to sack him. You've got to sack him now before your season is destroyed, because come next week we'll be out of one cup, and when we come back at Christmas, if he's still in a job, we'll be out the second one without even playing a game. I think we'll get knocked out the first round we're available to play. Europa League will be gone within a couple of games. We won't qualify out of the league stage, which we should, because it's not a high bar compared to last year in that sense. So if we get him till Christmas, our season is done and we'll be in a relegation dogfight. I guarantee it.
Right, so there's nothing official yet. There's absolutely nothing official yet to say that Russell Martin has been sacked. Like I say, there was loads of rumours flying about. I was told earlier that he will be sacked. Thank you very much, Big Dave, by the way, for the super chat. Thank you. But nothing has been announced yet. And I don't know, maybe he can talk his way out it. I don't know. I mean, 7 interviews with Stuart and Thelwell. Maybe he's a good talker, I don't know. But as of yet, he is still the manager of Rangers Football Club. We will leave it there, folks. If Martin is sacked, we will be back. I don't know who will be on, but we will be back. Although I've got a funny feeling we're not going to hear anything today. So, Ian, Alex, thank you very much for coming on. Not an easy show to do again. How many times have we said that? How many times have we come on now and said this isn't going to be an easy show?
I've said it twice today.
Thank you.
Already.
Yes, we have said it twice today already. So Ian and Alex, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already, please do leave us a like and make sure that you are subscribed. If you're watching on Twitter, give us a wee follow, give us a wee retweet. Make sure that you're getting your comments in as well. I'd like to start seeing some more comments come through from Twitter. Like I say, if there is any movement on Russell Martin, we will be back to give you our immediate reaction. Although I don't know, I hope so, Cammy. I hope so. I've got my dinner to get, but I do hope so. And thank you for all the super chats as well. Every single bit of support is greatly, greatly appreciated. So thank you to everybody who has joined us. The Jubal story will be back on Monday, Jordy. The Jubal story will be back on Monday. So Ian, Alex, thank you. Everybody in the comments, thank you. Everybody listening back, thank you. And maybe, just maybe, we'll be back pretty soon.